Sean, this is Joanna. We've been asked to do a reflection on Psalm 125 as part of Ascent's Psalm of Ascents.
So this one goes like this. Those who trust in the Lord are like Mount Zion, which cannot be shaken but endures forever. As the mountains surround Jerusalem, so the Lord surrounds his people, both now and forevermore. The sceptre of the wicked will not remain over the land allotted to the righteous, for then the righteous might use their hands to do evil. Lord, do good to those who are good, to those who are upright in heart. But those who turn to crooked ways, the Lord will banish with the evildoers. Peace be on Israel.
Okay, so we've kind of split this into two parts, and as we were thinking about it, and the first part really focuses on this imagery which David introduces at the beginning of this psalm, which is of the mountains surrounding Jerusalem. So he kind of refers to Mount Zion and he kind of refers to Jerusalem, talking about the same physical place. And around Jerusalem there are lots of really big hills and mountains, and if you're there and you look out over the walls, you would see it just surrounded by mountains. And he kind of uses this as a reminder. So in previous videos, it's been touched upon a few times that Israel are really good at remembering their history and remembering where they've come from. And they use their stories of who they are and what God's done for them just as a form of praise and a form of reminding them what God could do for them then in that time. So David seems to use this physical imagery just to point them back to those things in their lives and in their history, which can talk of who God is. And you can kind of imagine them reading this psalm and going outside and looking and seeing these big mountains around, and they are reminded of all the things that God's done for them. It's kind of that physical imagery which takes into remembering a thing about God. So I guess off the first part of this, the challenge is, what is that thing in your life? What is that tangible thing which you look at and it reminds you of something of who God is? Either something that he's done in your life, or something that you hold on to from the Bible, or something about who God is. So for me, one of the things I love about snowflakes is if I see snow on the ground, if you look really closely at snow, it gets more and more complex the closer in you get with all the different kind of flakes, and it's just really amazing if you look at it. And that God's previously spoken to me about the complexity of who he is and all the things that he is. So when I look at snow, I think of just how big and how complex God is, and how ununderstandable but great he is.
You say the second half is a little bit different. So the sceptre of the wicked will not remain over the land allotted to the righteous, but then the righteous might use their hands to do evil. When we first read that, we didn't really know what it meant, so we had a little look at some commentaries. And the sceptre could also be translated as rule, so like the rule of the wicked will not remain. And what the kind of verse gives us imagery of is that, so it could be a ruler, so say the Egyptians ruling Israel back in the day, or it could be just wickedness ruling over you. So what this is saying is that will not remain, it's not permanent. So that gives us hope that if there is either a ruler ruling you that's wicked, or something over you that's not of God, that's not permanent, that the righteous do not live under that forever. So that's really hopeful. And the reason that that's important is that if we were to be permanently under that, then it could be that even the most holy of people and the most committed Christians could use their hands to do evil, so they could turn to doing something unrighteous. So for example, we could react in anger or rebellion because of who's ruling over us. So it then goes on to say, do good to those who are good, to those who are upright in heart, but those who turn to crooked ways, the Lord will banish with the evildoers. So a thing we kind of felt from this was God saying that, one, as I've said already, hope means it's not permanent, that if there's something dark or something hard that you're going through at the moment, that's not permanent. And that second, God's never going to give you too much that you can't handle. So that kind of reminded us of another verse, which is later in 1 Corinthians 10:13. No temptation has overtaken you that is not common to man, God is faithful and he will not let you be tempted beyond your ability, but with the temptation he will also provide the way of escape that you may be able to endure it. So again, there's a hope that even in the darkest of times and the hardest place, we have the choice to turn to God and do the right thing. So for me, I was in a job that was a private company that was all really about making money, and I found that very difficult. And that wasn't permanent because now I'm in a job in the NHS, which is kind of the opposite of that ethos. So that did not remain, and I was able to live a life that I want in the job that I'm now in.
So to summarise, what is that one thing which you have which points you to God, that physical thing in your life, and